Good afternoon everyone, how you all doing? It's been a long time since I made a video, I think you'll agree. I've got dust in my eyes, but I'm ready to go. Today's, or this afternoon's objective is to get this little strimmer going. This is got a bit of a rag stuck to it. It's got like a wire brush on the end of it. It's a little SGS Engineering 26cc strimmer. You know, they're alright. They're not the best strimmers in the world. Since I found out they're actually Chinese and not English, I've realised why there's a lot of problems with a lot of them. But this one, a little bit of a backstory to it. My dad at the time, how long have I had this? I've had this for about 3 years, 2 or 3 years. And at the time, my dad's strimmer, he's got a steel strimmer. They've got like a stables with some horses in. And their strimmer was playing up, so I was looking around and I come across this one, so I bought it for him, and it wasn't running at the time. It come from, I don't know, I think it was from Birmingham or somewhere. Well, everybody knows everyone in Birmingham's gay, so I wasn't expecting it to be perfect. It was meant to have only been run twice. When it turned up, it was quite tatty, quite rusty. The strimmer head was broken. I thought I had a spare, but I didn't. It doesn't fit. The one from the 52cc strimmer doesn't fit. The air filter housing was broken. There's a lot of stuff wrong with it, but it didn't run when it came. But I did get it running, and I dare say, excuse me, I dare say there'll be some of you that have been watching for a few years will probably remember this when I got it running. But the trouble is, I never did get it running. Well, I never did get it working as a strimmer in order to give to my dad. It's still got I put the wire brush on the end of it because I wanted to test it to see what the engine was like, and I wanted to scrub up the patio. But I never did get round to doing it. The wire brush attachment is crap. That's also from China. Doesn't work. It's terribly unbalanced, and it just wobbles around all over the place. So I never did get to actually give it to my dad, and it's actually sat behind the shed now, outside in the elements. It was originally covered up under a tarpaulin, but that blew off and I didn't realise it. So it's been in the rain, in the snow, not that we had a lot of snow, a little bit of snow. So it's been outside in the elements for about 3 years. But now it's time to get it going again. I dug it out, remembered it was there, I thought, oh bloody hell, that's that strimmer. So, as I say, it's a 26cc strimmer. It's got cobwebs all over it. Been outside, so the first thing we're going to have to do is check see if we've got any spark, because if it's been getting water in it, does the throttle even work? The throttle's not stuck. That works. So if it's been getting water in it, there's a good chance that we ain't going to have no spark. So let's go and find a tripod and we'll set you up and we'll go and check for sparkage. Well, I definitely need to try and invest in some new tripods. I've got one of those Gorilla tripods, but it's the crappiest thing. They're right when they're new, but once they get used a few times, they just go floppy. Like many things that we can think of. Anyway, so let's check for some spark. On and off switch. Stop is that way. Off is on is that way. Let's or shall we just see if it'll run? Let's just see if it'll run. Forget checking for spark. Let's just see if it'll run. Let's do the normal thing and just see if it'll run before we even have to check for any spark. Right, so I'm going to get some petrol, and I'll pour a bit in there, and we'll see if it'll even run first. I might be lucky. You never know. To be honest, I was hoping to make a little video out of this, but if it'll run, I'm not going to bother taking things apart if I don't need to. Hopefully that might be enough. Where's the primer bulb? There it is. Hopefully that might be enough. Oh, it's sucking fuel. Fuel's in. Bring that bit of rag off the end so it don't go flying. Put the lid back on the old petrol can. Lovely, nice, vintage. That's got to be a 1980s, 1990s can. I wrote 2-stroke on it, so I remember what's in it. Because quite some time ago, I put brake cleaner in one of those cans and then put it inside of a quad bike. And I wonder why it smelled funny. Anyway, choke is on. I'm pretty sure that's on. I don't know. We'll try it. It might be on, it might be off, who knows. Holy moly. Well, we know we got spark. That means it's probably going to run. Or not. Spoke too soon. I spoke way too soon. I spoke way too soon. Bloody hell. So, I jinxed it a little bit there, I think. Let's give it one more go. And if it doesn't fire again, we'll have to just check for that spark. See what the problem might be. What we could do, we could take this off and see what's underneath. Probably a great big spider's nest or something. What way's on? Ha! Yeah, that way is on and that way is off. So let's just see if we can get it to go. A bit of that. No, we've definitely not got spark, I don't think. That would have gone by now. Yes, this is at it. Nope. No spark, baby. Let's get this off. And see what's under here. It fired though, didn't it? It did fire. So we know we was close. You know you're not far off when you get a fire. It coughs a bit. So we know we did have some kind of explosion going on. But not a lot happened after. Certainly ain't as fit as I used to be. That properly puffs me out now. So we've got a very wet plug. What could be the problem, but it did fire on the first pull, so I suspect it's not the problem. But what could be the problem is there's water got in there, but I suspect that that's not the problem because of the fact it fired on the first pull. I'll clean that off now with a nice bit of rag. Let's stick that in the end of there. Got to find somewhere to ground it to. And that bolt. You ain't gonna better see, I don't think. And that bolt there. Look. Oh yeah, we got a spark. There's a big spark there. Hopefully you can see that. Lovely great big spark. So hopefully, with any luck, the problem was simply that it was flooded. Got a bit of metal stuck in my finger now. Just what I wanted on a Friday evening. Thanks very much, spark plug. Oh, that's a nasty one, I know. I must have chewed up the end of that. I must have chewed that bit up with the socket. And let's get that in there. So always remember, if anything, your strimmer, your mower, chainsaw won't start, just do what I've done, take the plug out, give it a clean, stick it back in, ground it off somewhere, and see if you've got a spark there. You can do that. Bit of metal stuck in there, bloody hurts, man. Hate getting metal stuck in my fingers. A little bit of rubber grommet's broken off. We'll put that back on anyway. Not that it'll do a lot. It's just to stop water getting in, but it's been sitting outside in the rain for 3 years. I don't think it's going to do a lot. Alright. Let's see if we've got... Right, there we go. So that's how bad that tripod is. It just fall over without any warning. Right, I think it's flooded before. I'm not going to prime it because I think it's flooded. Let's see what happens. Should have had a fire ridge by now. Got a spark. Got easy start. Definitely should have had some fire ridge by now. Let's get rid of that. Let's check that again. I reckon that's well flooded, you know. It's all coming out the exhaust. Let's take the plug out and give it a few pulls. See what comes out the plug hole. I don't think it'll be flooded now. Stick that back in there. See if we've still got spark. Oh yeah, plenty of spark. So the plan is, the reason I want to get this going now, one, I want it out of the way. So I want to get it going. I can't afford to buy a new strimmer head at the moment. They're about 20 something quid, 24 quid. So, because I've got the other project on the go. So for those of you that don't know, I've got a camper van project on the go. And all my money, all my spare money is going towards that. Which all these little projects are they're going on hold at the moment. All the little ones that I had going at the time are all on hold. Unless I can work on them for free. If they're costing money, they're on hold. Simple as that. And so they're, you know, and all the money's going towards the camper van project until the camper van project is done. So things like this will be going, you know, if it needs any money spending on it, it's going on hold, or it's going as it is. Because I used to buy and sell mowers, strimmers, chainsaws, etc. and fix them up and sell them. So that's why I've got some surplus as well. Just like this 1984 Dolma, sitting here, it needs a throttle linkage. The fly traps and the trumpet pitchers are keeping it company at the moment because the sun was too unbearable for them outside. They start to shrivel up, so need a bit of water in there. It's dried up. Even the watering can's dried up. So anyway, yeah, so this is another one of the projects. It's sitting there because it needs the throttle linkage, which I couldn't get. I can't get hold of one anywhere, so that's why it's still sitting there waiting to be repaired. So 1981, or was it an 86? Can't remember, but it's a early 80s, I think. Dolma. Anyway, let's. So I've got the plug back in. Not the on switch is definitely on. It needs a bit of oiling, but it's definitely on. I don't want to prime it too much, but so it should have fired on an easy start. We've got a spark. So unless there's enough compression there. It coughed a couple of times then. Something tells me might be a bit of a wiring issue somewhere. Might have, because it coughs, it's got spark, but then it won't cough. Let's have a little play around. Right, so I've been messing around with it for, I don't know, about 15 minutes now. And I can get a spark, it's got a lovely spark. But the minute I've even tried to make it right on the cylinder head there, it's got a lovely spark. But the minute you put the plug in, it won't fire. So it's definitely flooded. So I've been trying to unflood it. All the petrol is coming out. Every time I put the plug back in again, and try a couple of times, get it out, it's absolutely drenched. So it's definitely well and truly flooded. So I'm just going to leave the plug out for a bit, let it sort of evaporate. I've tried pulling it, I've turned it upside down, got as much of it out as I can. There weren't a lot in the cylinder, to be honest, but I've got out as much as I can. I'm just going to let it evaporate a bit more and clean the plug, and then hopefully we'll get a fire then. Because it, you know, it's well, it's the only thing left now. Plenty of spark, plenty of compression, too much fuel. Too much fuel. Since when do we ever get too much bloody fuel? Unbelievable. Well, bloody hell, you lot. I've been messing around with it some more. I've dried it out, cleaned it out. Well, I say cleaned it out, I mean I just put a bit of rag in, cleaned around the threads and everything. I got all the fuel out, stuck a torch in there. It's all looking all right in there. It coughs and splutters the first time, then it won't fire no more. So there's obviously an issue with the electrics. But the thing is, you take the thing out and put it, check for a spark. It's got spark. You put it back again, it'll cough, and then it won't have any spark, I'm assuming, because it won't even fire on any of this engine start stuff. Even if you put petrol in it or anything, easily starts all engines. Oh yeah, right. Nah, I'm only joking. Yeah, well, so I'm running out of time now, you lot. I've got to go and pick up the kids and the missus from the beach. They've been to the beach for the day. With the rest of the family for some birthday thing. So I had about half an hour roughly spare before I had to go after work. I thought I'll get this strimmer going, but I'm running out of time, so I think I'm going to play around with it one more time, see if I can get it to fire. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's obviously a loose wire or a loose connection, that when you put it in this position like that, it doesn't want to have a connection, doesn't want to have any spark. When you take it off, oh, I don't want to come off now. When you take it off and put it in a position here or over there, because I put the plug right next to the hole, and it still had the spark there, but it must be something. When you do that, it loses its connection. I've checked all the connections, I've checked inside. The only other thing it might be is the little connection in there, perhaps. I'm going to mess around with it one more time, and that'll be enough for this evening. Hopefully I can get it to work. Alright, you lot know me by now. If it won't start, do your best to force it to start. So let's go. Hopefully the bloody crank don't fall out. Huh, maybe that weren't quite the right size socket. Well, that make any sense. So that's that one. 13mm, 14mm. 13mm don't fit, but 14mm is too big. So then we go and get a 9/16 too big. So then we go down to an 1/2 inch, too small. Well, that don't make any bloody sense. 14mm too big, 13mm too small. That's what happens when you get Chinese stuff. Because these SGS Strimmers are Chinese. They're just a Chinese copy, it's all they are. They buy them from China and put their badge on them. I used to think that they actually designed and made them themselves. That's why I bigged them up. I was like, this is a bloody good English company. Make their own equipment. They don't. It's all Chinese. They told me that themselves. Because I asked them, I wanted to know, so I was giving people the right information. And they said, no, it's from China. And that's what happens. You get crap. I was so disappointed when I found out they were Chinese, man. I was fully prepared to back the company, man. Not that they need me to back them, but I was so prepared just to sort of buy loads of their equipment. I've got the compressor, strimmers. I was going to buy loads of it, but then I found out it weren't an English company at all. Bloody all Chinese. I felt a little bit betrayed, a little bit. In a way. Well, right, let me try and find a socket that actually fits. There must be one somewhere. Alright, I'm going to try and hammer a 13mm socket on there. Probably won't be able to get it off again. Alright, let's try that. Absolutely no good whatsoever. All that's done is just rounded that bolt off, or that nut, completely off. So now if we ever wanted to take that off, we're never going to be able to get that off. Of course I knew that was happening, I just decided to keep going with it because, to be honest, I had enough of the Chinese crap. Yeah. Had enough of it. But that won't stop us from using the pull start. We can still put the pull start back on and still start this strimmer. I just wanted to try and force it to start using the drill. But it didn't work. And also, my hammer fell apart. That used to be a good hammer. Oh, there you go. Haha, back again. So I think what I'm going to do, since I've run out of time now, I haven't really got a lot of patience for this Chinese stuff anyway, but I did want to get it going, but I'm running out of time. Still got to go and have a wash, and then go and pick the rest of the family up. So I'm probably gonna, I might nick bits off of this because I've got my 52cc strimmer, which is a good strimmer actually. I've looked after it. I've just got to get a new harness for it because the harness that comes with them are absolute crap. But it's a good strimmer, but it needs fuel lines and a few other bits and bobs, and they're the same fuel lines, they'll fit fine. So I might nick the parts off of it, or when I get a bit more time, perhaps tomorrow or something, I might have a look at it and see if I can actually get this going, because I know what I need to do to get it going. It's obviously an electrical problem, because it has spark when you take the plug out. It probably doesn't have spark when you put it back in, so there's obviously something, perhaps this wire's broken. I need to delve into it. I need to take the cover off. I need to have a proper look at the wiring and trace it just to make sure there's no breaks, and also I need to properly make sure it's not flooded. But I thought it would have fired on that easy start, and also the petrol going in, it would have at least fired a little bit. I know it coughed a bit, but if it had a good spark when the plug was in, it would have fired a bit more than what it did, I would have thought, especially with the easy start. So I reckon that there is a break in this wire and this HT lead here, so that when you put it there, check the spark, it has a spark. When you move it around and you put the plug on the end of the hole there, it has a spark, but when it's in the position where it's on the end of the plug, it doesn't really make a spark. There's definitely something wrong with the electrics there. So there possibly will be a part 2 to this video little series on this strimmer. But either way, I'll let you know what I've decided to do. If I decide to just nick parts off of it, then I'll tell you. If I decide to actually get it running, obviously you'll see a video, part 2, actually properly getting it running. But I would do it this evening, but as I say, I've got to stop chatting crap, and I've got to go and have a wash, and go and pick up the rest of the family. So, thanks for watching. If you've got one of these Strimmers, let me know what you think about it, man, because like I say, I used to do some reviews and that for SGS off my own back, never got paid for it or nothing. I bought the 52cc Strimmer, I bought an air compressor, the 100 litre compressor, I got one of their big toolboxes, I got something else that's SGS. Oh, I got all the tools, the nut runner and all that, impact gun and all of that kind of stuff. And I really did like the brand until I found out that they were Chinese. And then I started getting a lot of comments on the videos that I was doing, the review videos, saying that they don't find my review that helpful because I said they were all right. But then they were saying, no, it's no good. I've bought the Strimmer, it doesn't start. I bought this, it doesn't start. The compressor's not any good. I've done this, I've done that, and none of it's any good because it's all Chinese. And then that's when I done some research, and I found out that it is all Chinese, and that explains why a lot of people have a lot of trouble with them. But I don't know. It's a crazy world. It's a world full of you've got to be careful what you buy because you can be deceived very easily. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'll see you on the next one, and probably be a video on the camper van project. I've got to go and fix the handbrake because it failed its MOT on the handbrake. It doesn't work. Well, I know the handbrake doesn't work anyway. I never use the handbrake. I just leave it in gear. But the handbrake has to work for the MOT, so I've got to get that working. I was hoping that he'd forget about testing the handbrake. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one, you lot. Enjoy your weekend, and yeah, ciao for now.